What we see is now 51% of male fertility that affects infertility overall. Our infertility rates are skyrocketing. When you wake up in the morning, is there an erection? That's a very important indicator. I have young people now coming, and there's very little testosterone, and sperm is almost non-existent. It's so sad. Fertility, as I say, it's not really a must for body to do. It's an optional job to do. So if you don't have enough nutrients, you're not going to make it. What are we going to see in 10 years, 20 years from now? Think about it, scary.
Hello, everyone. We are back to the 5-hour method with Dr. Marina Yuabova. Dr. Marina, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am great. As I said, we are getting ready for the storm, but hopefully things will be good. We'll see. But today, we talked about this topic briefly a little bit, but I think it's an important topic. We want to talk about men's fertility. So I want to start straight up into the conversation. When couples struggle to conceive, the focus almost always lands on women. Unfortunately, that's how the nature of society is. But fertility is not a single organ issue, like you mentioned in previous conversation too, and it is certainly not a single gender issue. So today on the 5-hour method, we are shifting the lens to men's fertility and unpacking how male health often shapes the entire conception story. And by the way, there are stats out now. 51% of infertility is attributed to men as of today. And so let's start with the stigma. When people hear the word fertility, why is it incomplete and often inaccurate to focus primarily on women? Your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. It's just something that was happening for many, many, many decades, and that's what people are used to. So I will tell you how research was shifting. First, it was 20% male, the rest is female. There is also unknown factors. And then slowly but surely to now it became 51% male. There's some female and also unknown factors, which is unknown factors to those who can figure out known factors, because nobody really looking in the immune system at all to understand why it's happening, which is a big factor as well. So it should have never been just a female factor, because it never is. In order to make a human being, it takes two physical bodies, a male and female, and each one contributes 50%, right? So what made a big shift to this now 51% of male fertility that affects infertility overall? I believe it's overall toxicity, deficiency, and this COVID time made a great change. Since COVID, what we see is now it's more infertility globally. The testosterone levels dropping, and sperm amounts of sperm itself, the amount of it per milliliter is dropping. So what needs to happen in a system that's working? We're talking about beautiful individuals, a healthy female and healthy male. Let me show you a picture. So it has to be when woman is healthy, so she releases an egg. A day or two before she releases an egg, it should be a healthy sperm that enters her vagina that knows where to swim, right? It's supposedly that sperm needs to know where to go. How does sperm knows where to go? Its sperm has an antenna that listens to the egg that has been released. So they know the direction. Healthy sperm moves upward direction, not in circular motion, upward direction. When woman released her egg out of her ovary, this egg needs to travel towards where the sperm is, and it's on the bottom. So they hear each other. So after COVID, what we understood and our research is published, this signaling no longer available. So the egg not signaling to the sperm, and sperm is not hearing the egg. So let's say it's perfect scenario and they're healthy and nothing happened to them. They've never been sick. They're like Adam and Eve healthy. So woman doesn't have any inflammatory conditions, and her fallopian tubes 100% functioning. No inflammation, so they open. So this egg can travel backwards. And out of third level of the tube, this is where the sperm needs to meet the egg. Then egg decides which sperm to allow to enter. It's only one gets in, not two, not three, not five. She decides which one she allows to get in. This is a normal process. It is a healthy process. When that happened, then this egg, now we call zygote, that now it's an egg with the sperm together. Now we have a nucleus that's now separating and dividing. It's already growing body. So what is this depending on? It depends on mitochondrial health of male and female. When their mitochondria is healthy, now this item can grow and replicate fast. Male already gave his genetic material. It's already there. His job is done. Now it's a job of the woman. So if her uterus is healthy, non-inflamed, not scarred, she doesn't have any issues with tissue, now that nucleus will come down to the uterus, will not get stuck anywhere, and will be able to healthy implant. You see how much needs to happen when it's perfect scenario? So when we see male that's stressed, detoxic, that's not functioning well, they still physically well functioning, they don't feel anything different, but mitochondrially they're not functioning well. When they are giving their biological material and sperm is not healthy, either cannot find a way or does not swim fast enough, or maybe it's not enough swimmers, they simply cannot get to an egg. And they also cannot find each other when they cannot hear each other. You see, it's a lots of things that go in effect. And of course, saying it's an old stigma. It's no longer true. And why it was? Because it's always used to be supposedly a woman's fault, which is never was a truth, because it takes two. It always takes two. What's different now in percentage? We see how percentage is changing. And honestly, when somebody tells me, oh, idiopathic infertility, there is no such a thing. There's no idiopathic nothing. You just didn't find a cause. There gotta be a reason. So in order for this beautiful music to play, we need the healthy players that can hear the conductor. And conductor is the brain. So when this communication from the brain to gonads is broken, that's not going to happen. Women don't even ovulate. So PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, it's one of the biggest conditions that actually affect fertility statistically in female side. So healthy woman ovulates how often? Every 4 to 5 weeks. So yearly, she has 12 ovulations. So it's a 12 chances for her to get pregnant per year. So if she has post-PCOS, this chances that she has a shortened. So instead of having 12 chances, 10 chances, now she has only 6 chances or 4 chances per year to get pregnant. You see, and we're also talking about inflammation, everything that can affect. On male side, amount of sperm, quality of the sperm, morphology of the sperm, and speed of movement. You see, when I receive results of the patient that come to me and they want to understand how they can improve all of this, I explain it to them. Okay, first thing what we look at, let's look at numbers. The ideal number is over 40 million by milliliter. Now, World Health Organization changed the numbers again. Now they're saying a 20 million per milliliter is more than enough. They're never going to get there, okay? They're never going to get there. It's not enough of them because they die. By the time they swim, they die out. So you get the strongest one, the smartest ones, and the one that knows where to go. So everything should be working for this one sperm to get to the egg. Morphology. Does it have all the parts that should be having? I've seen a lot, 2 heads, 3 tails. It's not a healthy biological material. Then the speed. Are they moving or in what direction they're swimming? So I've seen sperm that just making circles. And I ask patients, have you had COVID? And the answer is yes. Who didn't really? Okay. And they go in circles. Why? Because they don't know where to swim. They don't know direction. There is no direction. So it's lots of different pieces that go into play. But when everything works together, it's an absolute beautiful picture. It's like a beautiful movie. It's with such an ease it has to happen. Unfortunately, it's not easy for a lot of people now. Everything that we're having with an environment and everything that we go through and toxicity and stress has to do with that for men and for women.
Yeah, unfortunately or fortunately, I guess, in historically, everybody said this is like magical, right? It happens like there is a direction to this. It happens like this, right? Unfortunately, now it's like magical, but almost like wishful magical, right? Like hopefully this will work, and this is where we are at, and this is unfortunate. But what are the most common things you see in men who are struggling with fertility? Can you give some example, even when of course, they appear healthy and on the surface, right?
Absolutely. So first, what we see amount of inflammation they all have. They all silently inflamed and they have a lot of toxicity and deficiencies. The same as for women, it's the same thing. More toxic you are, more deficient you are, less healthy your material gonna be. And I explain it to people. So fertility, as I say, it's not really a must for body to do. It's an optional job to do. So says first is to do your physiological needs have to be met. Your heart has to be pumping, your brain should be working, your bowel should be working so you can survive. So you have food that gets in, you take nutrients out, and you deliver these nutrients, and heart delivers oxygen to the cell so you can survive. So if you look at human body, we know that reproductive organs and are last. It's for a reason. First is the head, because this is where signaling coming from. Then you have the torso and the chest and the stomach, and only then reproductive organs. This lovely men come, they present healthy. A lot of time, these men complain that they're always exhausted. Not all the time. So this exhaustion is a sign they are metabolically not healthy. Mitochondrial health has been compromised, and of course, the fertility will be affected. So these signs of fertility is a sign of well-being. People think it's an isolated problem. It's not. It never was, and it's never going to be. It's a sign of the problem. So in order to address it, we have to address everything first, feed the system, clean the system, be nice to the system, and system responds so beautifully. And it changes all the time. It does change. And also testosterone levels in this men usually are low. So we don't look at total testosterone. People looking at total testosterone numbers. No, we need to look at free testosterone, bioavailable testosterone, what's actually available for the system to use. So how does testosterone happen in the system? How do we make it? I explain it to my patients all the time. So adrenals and testicles are responsible to make it. But in order to make it, you need to have raw material. Raw material is nutrients. So if you don't have enough nutrients, you're not going to make it.
I guess the question is, because this is not happening at the last moment itself, there should be early patterns or usually something that you notice. So I guess my question to you is, especially the people coming to you, why do they so often go unnoticed for years? Like it's not a gradual thing.
Absolutely. It takes years for these things to actually physically show themselves. So usually it starts in early adulthood. It's not like a 2-year problem, 5-year problem. It starts very early. We really don't have any kind of screening for male health. We don't. So that's a big problem. Unless a gentleman will go and have his sperm analyzed, we don't have any of that. Like for female, for women, we have AMH levels. We don't have that for male. Yes, FSH and LH I can check by blood test and see communication. Which male checks this? They don't test it. And even for women, they only test it when they already have problems conceiving. It's like much deeper level of examination. It's not done, and it's very sad. So I think we need to raise this awareness so people understand. It's great to when we see there is a pattern of issues in the beginning so we can correct it, and this is where preventative medicine comes in. Educating people, it's your job, your responsibility to make sure that your system works at optimum level. Don't wait until you actually get sick. So I ask my patients all the time, those who don't use any testosterone, they don't use sildenafil, they use nothing. I ask them, tell me please, and one very important indicator, when you wake up in the morning, is there an erection? That's a very important indicator. What does it mean to me? Am I checking if he's functional? I'm checking if he's functional a different way. First, I can assess cardiovascular status because this is how heart. So erection is a heart job. It's a pumping of the blood. Are you able to pump this blood to this part of your body? Number two, do you have energy and energy expenditure to do it? And if there is enough testosterone. So when people don't have proper amount of testosterone and their heart is weak because it's so much deficit, it doesn't happen as it should. So it's just a tool for me to assess the well-being of individual.
I want to hammer it on two things that you mentioned. One is male fertility testing, right? That's way behind. It's like literally, even I can tell you from personal experience, I only did it when I was in the process of getting my like, yeah, let's plan now, baby, right? That which is like way later in life. And the question is, what should happen? Like, I guess what's in ideal world, how this should happen, and when should this happen? I know certain founders who have built now companies in male fertility in New York, and they're doing it. But I hear the same thing. It's like no men show up, only the partners help them show up, pull them up. Only then it happens, and it's a very I don't know, shameful thing for men to go for these testings, and there's a stigma attached to this. So I guess awareness is needed for sure, but ideally, I guess still not aware. Awareness is missing. When should men go and get this tested, or what should be the ideal scenario looks like in your views?
So I think ideal scenario, we should educate children, no matter of their gender. We should educate them in school. So this is not happening. We have sexual education. We don't have health and wealth and wellness education in school, where children should be educated on importance of self-care for their lifespan. It is very important. And of course, we should be having regular testing. So as soon as we see there's a problem, and trust me, I have young people now coming, and there's very little testosterone in sperm, is almost non-existent. It's so sad. And they're in their early 20s. And why I start, being concerned, I check again the same questions I ask them, and they telling me they're in early 20s and there is no erection every morning. And again, it's not about erection. It's about how well your body is functioning. Is it functioning the way it should be functioning? So we should have normal testing in place. We should change and go work through the stigma and educate people. We need to educate. We have to start with education. The education is smartest and simplest step it should be taken so we can change all of this. If you think about it, now we are facing this and becoming a pandemic, because it is. Our infertility rates are skyrocketing. And again, all of this changed after COVID. It became really bad. What are we going to see in 10 years or 20 years from now? Think about it. Scary. It is very scary. Yes, of course, we have IVF clinics. And again, you've done it. If, you go to IVF clinic, doctors look at material that you gave and will choose the healthiest material you made. It doesn't mean the material the healthiest. It's what you made, okay? It's from what's available. I have patients that come in, they make so little sperm, and they say, well, doctor said it was enough. I was like, of course it's enough for them to use, but if you're not making 30 millions, you only make 15 millions. You need to think why your body is only making 15 millions per milliliter. Is there enough fuel to make all that much? Because even health of each sperm cell will make the difference. Healthier the gentleman, healthier the offspring. Of course, with the woman, healthiest individuals have healthiest babies. So now we're talking about generational health. What's for future? We should be proactive. Patients should think about it. Like what you deposit now, this is what you're going to get. This is so important.
And when patients are or these men whom you are seeing in your practice, so within the 5 hour method, what are men commonly carrying physically or physiologically that should be removed first? What is that you find out? What are those things? Can you walk us through those
Sure,
things?
definitely. The first thing we remove is stress. Or stress remains, we need to reduce reaction to stress, and we teach them how to do that. Because you live in New York, I used to live in New York. We know the amount of stress is ridiculous. How people still living through this? And I'm saying there's no living, it's a survival. People constantly in survival mode. We do not do well in survival mode. Reproduction is great in safety mode, not in survival mode. See, we cannot force body to do something it's not willing to do because there are different priorities. Our system, our body is very intelligent and knows how to prioritize. Of course, your physiological needs comes first, then there's a baby. It's never reproduction first. Otherwise, we would have had the reproductive organs on our forehead. No, it's not. It was all for a reason. We're created by God, and God created us in a very specific way. And to look at the body, you'll understand what comes first, second, third, and so on. So reproduction is at the last. So stress has to be reduced, or if you can possibly eliminate, if it's possible, toxins, inflammation. It comes together with stress. So stress itself induces more inflammation in the system. We know this. A lot of cortisol and everything gets inflamed. proper testosterone. We want to make sure that testosterone does not convert to estradiol into estrogen. More estradiol, more estrogen, more inflammation. Like all of these things loop it together. So that's what should be removed. That's what we're removing very strategically. Every person has a plan. We have plan of action. Step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, but we do it together. We don't do it separately because we don't want to do it for years. We want to give patients a chance to make corrections as soon as possible.
And how do toxins specifically and inflammations affect the sperm quality? What I guess the question is, you see this as a feedback, so you're seeing something. So, what's is it like the reading? Is it like what exactly are you looking at the sperm quality? What changes?
So if we see a semen analysis and it's really very low sperm, they're very toxic and they're inflamed. It's a given. Because if they would not be toxic, would not be inflamed, they would make enough sperm, but they don't make it. So toxicity, inflammation blocks spermal production and regulation of the function. So the same thing for women. We are the problems are the same for both genders. That's why when I taking care of the women, they ask, "Can you please work with my husband?" Of course, I can work with your husband, and we do a lot of that work because yes, we have a different gender, but our makeup is almost the same. So the embryo first appears as a female, and then it changes. So it looks like a female embryo in the beginning, and then it becomes male. So we start with one first, and then we have our gender differences. So creator is one. We talk about God, and God is created a very specific way. We have all the same hormones. Male and female hormones are the same. What's different? The ranges. Male has more testosterone, less estrogen. Do you have estrogen? Of course you have. You need it. Men also need progesterone. Women need more estrogen, more progesterone, less testosterone. You see, it's the same. It's just ranges are different. So in order to understand physiology, you need to understand physiology, the makeup, and you'll understand how this works. As I'm explaining here, very simple how it should be working and what we see problem in right now.
And when it comes to replacing, right, when you are somebody who's part of your protocol, they're going through this, especially for men, let's say you've found out under functioning areas and those need to be rebuilt. How does that work? Like what needs to be changed? How you help them build back their, I guess, back the hormones or even inflammation to reduce? Can you walk us through how the protocol works? How long does it take? Give some idea on that.
So protocol usually takes 6 months, and it's a beginning of base work. Don't forget this, when they come with this problem, it's decade-long problem. Or not decade, decades. Okay, to say it's exactly, it's never a new problem. It's a long-lasting problem that they never knew about. So the first step, we always reduce inflammation. Inflammation is a first step, too. And how do we do this? We adjust their diet very specific way, and everybody has specific instructions. Then we replace what they're missing. We start fueling the system. So we're now regulating 2 ways: reduce inflammation and start fueling. Also, each patient has something that will help, on the item that will help them to detoxify effectively, depending on what they need. So now we have 3, okay? That's only first month, first 2 months, okay? So we cleaning, we replacing, inflammation is reduction, and we already rebuilding. See, this is already a lot for first 2 months. We also ask them, okay, let's see how we can reduce your stress. What's going on? What's bothering you? Because this program is created, it's all done for you. You just follow. So this is not stress, you just follow. Yes, there are things you need to do, but we are not asking you to do research. I'm not asking you to go see another professional. I'm not asking you to do any of this. We do it all for you. I do all research. I create a program for you. Just follow the steps. So that is not induction of stress. It's just following steps. But your work stress, your family stress, your internal stress. Most of people now, they come to me, they're all anxious. Anxiety is a sign of excessive stress in the system. That needs to go. We need to make people comfortable. We need to teach them to sleep so they can recalibrate at night. So rest and recalibration happens at night. I also use peptides, very big in biohacking people. Biohacking. When even I change the diet, it's already biohacking. It's changing to do things to change your biology. So I use all different peptides for mitochondrial health, anti-inflammatory. It's with specific things. So I want to fuel mitochondria. So this is first before even I do everything else. They don't have enough testosterone, let's fuel it up. Vitamins, minerals, amino acids. If they need pregnenolone, DHA, give it because that's a fuel to make normal hormones. Fuel that up. Okay, so it's already a lot to do. And we make adjustments every couple of months. So every 2 months, they receive new package supplementation with supplements plus peptides, and they follow it to the T. If they make a little mistake, it's okay. Nobody's perfect. But best when you do the best that you can. You know, everybody cheats once a week. One day a week, one dinner, you cheat. You eat whatever you want. And I tell them, it's like, it's doctor's orders. Go eat whatever you want one time a week. Very important to cheat. We're humans. We have to make sure that we appreciate that too, right? Having fun. Why not? Go with your family. Go out and do whatever you like. Even have some wine if you wish. They overdo it, body teaches them, so they understand. Usually people that really go crazy, they feel it next 3 days. It's okay, that's learning experience. So then they know what their body likes and doesn't, and they understand it better. So all of this, it's a lot of work. Immune dysregulation for men and women, what I see now, men have ANA positive or thyroid peroxidase positive. So it's autoimmune conditions that actually affect this fertility. Most men are not even tested for autoimmunity at all. Before, I haven't seen that men have it too often. Now I have every third male that comes, they have something with immune system. So when I do blood work with my patients, the AI interpretation explains to me and shows to my patients what's affecting, how their immune system affecting their well-being and percentage. And I show it to them. I was like, here, this is looking like your immune system is really not functioning well. We need to regulate the function. So your fertility could be prioritized. In female and women, what we see, in male, they have all of this. The sperm is not great, right? In female, even woman gets pregnant and her immune system is crazy, it gets rid of the baby. It gets rid of the embryo. It's just that. So we need to calm everything. We need to create a state of balance. So for all of this to work. And it's very interesting process. Very interesting process. But it's great process because once you do it right, we continuously support the system throughout, and results are just amazing.
I mean, I know you mentioned, especially the stress conversation with men. That's always not an easy one to say so, right? Because men are stubborn and, that's how it is. they don't listen and they have this, weird way of managing stress. So I guess the question is, how are you making sure what kind of conversations you are having so that is there a method to get more men to focus on how to alleviate stress and then, do the things better?
So actually, I would like to stress that women, the wives, usually the one who advocate for their husbands more than anybody else. So men need to appreciate the wives they had because usually the wives bring them and it's like, you gotta come. And I have a lot of patients like that. They come first, women, and they're like, wow, I'm gonna bring my husband. They try. I never ask patients to come as a couple. If one comes, as like, listen, try the process. If this is something you are looking for and you are satisfied, you're more than welcome. If you have spot, we can accommodate your spouse. And they bring their husbands. I have mothers and daughters. I have mothers and then nieces, nephews, and grandmas. It's all different ways. When this lovely gentleman ends in my chair, I picture a story for them. I just paint it. I say, listen, you're already in this condition right now. This is not great. Are you enjoying your life? Of course, they already have the symptoms. They just don't talk about it. Men don't talk about it. That's a problem. When women talk about it, men don't talk about it. They don't complain because it sounds like complain. And what we teach our sons, you're not the girl, don't complain. Don't we do that?
Yeah.
We do it. I have 2 sons. We say, you're not the girl. Stop doing this. Don't complain. And that's how we teach them not to say stuff. But it's great when men, they know what is not working by understanding the system's cues. And I simply play, a beautiful picture for them. I was like, listen, you are now 42 years old and you have A, B, C, D, and F. What do you think will happen when you're 60? It's very simple. So we know by statistics, late 40s to mid 50s, it's an age for men where they have the incidence of cardiac event. We call it a widow maker. These men don't survive. You see, there's a name for it. a widowmaker. It's a heart attack, and male don't survive it. Usually who it happens to these lovely men who don't pay attention to anything, and things are still happening. So I educate. I was like, listen, it makes me really, like, I'm concerned. We need to take certain steps. We want to make sure that your cardiovascular system works appropriately. We want to reduce inflammation as much as possible and support your system as a whole, plus your cardiovascular system. So this is very specific mindset and understanding what we need to do. Of course, research is there. It's published, it's studied, we understand it, we understand the trends, but nothing works best as just, sharing this information with them. It works with everybody. I remember when I used to work in New York and I did a lot of post-COVID cases a lot. This lovely gentleman came to me, his wife brought him, and I'm asking him, anything bothering you? And he's like, no, nothing. I was like, nothing is bothering you. So why are you here? She's like, I don't know. My wife asked me to come. I was like, okay, let's go for a walk. So me and him went for a walk in a hallway in my office. So I believe he made 8 steps forward and he started becoming out of breath after COVID. And my question was, don't you feel you're out of breath? He's like, no. See, not paying attention. Cardiovascular system already affected. They're not paying attention. Lots of men come and they overexercise. I have athletes that do this all the time. Like they are now overusing what their body is making. Energy is not there and they're using for exercise. Why? Let's reduce the exercise. Let's give your body a chance to use the extra energy you have for recovery and rebuilding. You see what we're doing? Like we are doing wrong things. Why are we doing it? Because we are taught certain things and its understanding of physiology is different. So what have you heard for the last 20 years? Exercise, 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 right? Yeah, exercise is important for healthy individuals that have enough fuel and healthy mitochondria. It's important. I'm not saying it's not important, but when you're already at a point where you're not great and you're still overusing, what's left? And for what is your body going to use it for? For the organs, it's not going to use for reproduction. It's going to use for function of the brain, heart, and lungs, and some gut. So when people telling me I'm constipated, I already understand. The body has no energy to eliminate, and the kidneys go. You see, again, we go through the bottom, like gastrointestinal tract, the kidneys elimination it already cannot detoxify. Yes, it has enough energy to push blood and oxygen through the cells, but no longer can eliminate. So, and again, with these people, very specific. We feed them, and then these priorities change. And it's like, oh my God, I'm in 3rd week. I'm actually able to go to the bathroom once a day now. I was like, great, let's go.
Yeah. And I guess the more forward looking question is, somebody is on this routine, they're getting better. They got pregnant one time. Great. But it's not a thing that should stop there, right? So what does long-term fertility or resilience looks like after beyond getting one time pregnant?
Sure. So usually what I see with my patients, if women, they come with couples, husband, wife, I have a lot of couples. So when they come husband, wife, they get pregnant, they stay in a program. They choose to, we don't force them. We support the function of the woman. So what's important? Yes, now there is a fetus and fetus is growing. All is great. Job of the husband is done. It's their choice. What would you like to do? Women usually, you know what? You help me this way and I would like to remain. I want to make sure I do everything possible for this child to survive because there is no body is a body. We did so much. Is there 100% guarantee? No, body will decide. I don't decide. It's their system that's deciding. So that's an important factor. Let's keep everything going so your system still decides to keep you pregnant, not to eliminate because it's not enough or because something else is happening. So we work continuously with women when they deliver. Again, it's their choice. Do you want to continuously help me to repair postpartum? And what I see with my patients, when patients come early enough, before conception, before they get pregnant, not one patient I had with gestational diabetes, and most of them are over 40. Okay, so we reduce the risk of complication during pregnancy. Lesser the risk, healthier the baby. So this is so important. I didn't have one patient that went into preterm labor. The same thing, I explained it to them. You want to reduce complications, we need to prep you before. Some patients stay for postpartum. Some say, you know what, I'll take some break. They take 3-4 months break and they come right back. I have a very nice patient that I worked with her one time. It was a very interesting story, actually. So I think I shared it already with somebody. She came to me with her husband wanting to do IVF for very specific reasons. She tried for a year and a half, nothing happened. She was in her mid-30s. There was her husband, a father to child before. So They said that that's not an issue, but when I did blood work, not enough testosterone. I was like, listen, you don't have enough testosterone. It won't hurt if we can help you, you know, build it so you can have more, and it's gonna affect the quality and speed of sperm movement and, quality of the sperm. So we start working. We did everything. Everything was fine. She wanted to go through egg collection. She's like, I want to get some eggs and I see what I'm gonna get. So before she came to me, she went already. And they only were able to get 3 eggs out of her. When she went through the process with me, she gave 33 eggs, great quality. I have patients who released 52 eggs, good quality. I think the 48 were great quality. They break them down by quality. Like now system is prioritizing here. I have fuel, I'll give it. Here, it just gives it. So this lovely woman decided to still go through IVF because she just was so eager to get pregnant. I was like, just wait. It will happen. She's like, no, my insurance covers for this. I want to do it. She wants to do it. IVF was covered by insurance. So she went and they used her previous eggs for whatever reason. I do not know why. So it didn't go through. I asked her, like, listen, just take a break, reduce the stress, forget about everything, do nothing. Like, if you want to relieve this stress that she has, 3 months that she was doing absolutely nothing, still ate clean and healthy. We taught her how to do this. She got pregnant with beautiful baby. She carried to term. Pregnancy was fine. Beautiful baby boy. Year and a half after that, she got pregnant. She was just on supplement support. All that. She got pregnant by herself second time, and she's having a baby in a month. Another one. So big job is one time. You do one time and then we maintain it. And it happens. Body just does it. People come because they want to improve success of IVF. They try. It doesn't work. They try 1, 2, 3 times. IVF doctor tells them, come again. Let me schedule you. And what you're going to expect, what's going to happen. You're not changing anything. You're not changing anything for the system. It's going to be the same thing. You're forcing this poor body to do something she can't do. So these patients come, they work, and again, they go through, egg collection. It's very different picture. Even AMH numbers change. Anti-Mullerian hormone numbers from the beginning to mid-program change. I tested. In the beginning, it's low, 0.4, zero point 0.3. Then it becomes almost 0.8, 0.9. It's like the body gives, it opens up the stores. It's all there. It just either storage is open or it's closed. So once you have fuel, the store opens up. You don't have fuel, store closes down. This is very interesting. Although in Western medicine, they say AMH numbers never change. They change all the time. All the time. They change all the time. This is how we can affect reproductivity of the individual.
Especially for men who are listening and especially who feel like, they're discouraged or they're overlooked and sometimes even feel like their body has failed them. What do you most want them to understand right now? What would be your word of advice?
Definitely. Firstly, your body didn't fail you. You didn't do nothing wrong. You didn't know right information. Right cares around. Find somebody who can help you optimize you for great results. You're not doing just for reproduction. You're doing it for overall health. No matter what we do overall health, and reproduction is a side effect. That's how it's affected. You cannot do something just for reproduction that would not affect the entire body. It's vice versa. We do it for the body, so reproduction is affected positively. That's how it works. So people should understand measures is nothing to be shamed about. Nothing. Your body is not broken. You just need somebody who understands your physiology and understand how to support you through this beautiful process of regulation. And it will be great. It will be beautiful. We see it. I firsthand see it with my patients. Once you treat body well, it delivers all the time.
Well, this has been insightful and encouraging, and also to point people that there is this problem. Recognition, awareness is missing in the world, especially for men's health. So today's episode was also, we want to spread more awareness around men's health and encouragement to be part of, really actively be part of their own health, right? That's what we want. So once again, Dr. Yuabova, thank you for sharing all the insights. Like Dr. Yuabova said, that fertility isn't a verdict, it is information, right? The sperm quality is one of the signals, and it's giving us what attention it needs. And if you need that attention, we have experts like Dr. Yuabova. Come to them, right? Meet them at their office, and Voca, and or visit their website, nationalwellnessgroup.com. And of course, if you like today's episode, you are a wife, partner, friend, especially who feels that everything falls on women. That's not the truth. Send it to your friends, family, men, friend, and share the episode. And once again, thank you for joining us. We will see you next time on the 5 hour method. Thank you.
Thank you.